This is a definitive method to achieve success that no one teaches you. What separates the successful from the mediocre is a cost that most are not willing to pay. Sacrifice is the code to always stay ahead of others. Today I will teach you why. Do you know what's fascinating? The other day I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he asked me a question that stopped me in my tracks. He said, "Why do some people make it and others don't?" And I'll tell you the same thing I told him. Success has a cost, and that cost is called sacrifice. Now, I grew up on a farm in Idaho, and let me share something interesting with you about farming that completely changed my perspective on success. Every spring, my father would take our best seeds, seed we could have eaten, seed we could have sold, and plant them in the ground. To a child, this seemed crazy. Why take perfectly good seeds and just plant them? But here's the miracle, and pay close attention because this is profound. Those planted seeds, that sacrifice of immediate consumption, multiplied 100-fold by harvest time. This is how success works. You must give up something valuable today to gain something even more valuable tomorrow. Some people say, "Well, I want to be successful, but I don't want to sacrifice anything." And I always tell them, that's like wanting a harvest without planting seeds. It simply doesn't work that way. The universe is arranged in such a way that everything worthwhile requires sacrifice. Do you want better health? You must sacrifice that extra hour of sleep to go to the gym. Do you want more money? You must sacrifice some leisure time to work on your skills, your business, your education. Do you want better relationships? You must sacrifice your pride sometimes and be the first to say, "I'm sorry." I remember when I started, barely earning enough to get by. I had a choice. I could buy a TV and watch other people succeed, or I could buy books and learn to succeed myself. The TV would have given me immediate pleasure, but those books gave me a future. You see, most people don't succeed because they aren't willing to be bored temporarily to improve permanently. They aren't willing to plant their seeds. They want to eat the seeds and have the harvest too. But life simply doesn't work that way. And here's what's truly captivating about sacrifice. It's not about giving up something for nothing. It's about giving up something good for something better. It's about giving up what you want now for what you've always wanted most. The question isn't, do you want success? Everyone wants success. The real question is, what price are you willing to pay? Because everything has a cost, and that cost must be paid in full and must be paid up front. But that's just the beginning. Understanding how success really works in today's world. You know, when I began to study success, real success, not just the kind you see on magazine covers, I discovered something astonishing. Success isn't what most people think it is. It's not about luck. And it certainly isn't about waiting and wishing for things to get better while you're sitting on your couch eating popcorn. The market, and this is fundamental to understand, is brutally honest. It doesn't care about your dreams, your desires, or your good intentions. The market only rewards one thing: value. The value you contribute, the value you create, the value you become. Let me tell you a story about a young man I met at one of my seminars. He approached me after the event all excited, saying, "I really want to be successful." I asked him, "What did you do last weekend?" He said, "Well, I watched TV, went out with friends, played some video games." That's fine, but understand this. Successful people don't just want success. They work for that success. Here's the primordial truth about success that no one wants to hear. Success isn't something you pursue. It's something you become. And becoming that requires fundamental changes in the way you think, the way you act, and most importantly, the way you spend your time. I often tell people, don't wish for it to be easier, wish to be better. Don't wish for fewer obstacles, wish for more skills. Don't wish for fewer challenges, wish for more wisdom. That's the foundation. That's how it all begins. Now, let me share something fabulous about the cost of success. Success has a cost, and that cost must be paid in full and must be paid up front. That's how it works. You can't buy success on credit. You can't say, "Well, I'll be responsible after I become successful." It doesn't work that way. The cost includes things like going to work early while others are resting, studying while others are partying, saving while others are wasting, practicing while others are playing, learning while others are sleeping. And here's what's attractive. The cost of success is always less than the cost of failure. But most people don't see it that way because they aren't thinking long-term. They're thinking in the present, this week, this month. But success isn't manufactured in days. It's manufactured in decades. I remember talking to a successful businessman who told me something profound. He said, most people underestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. We want everything now, instantly, immediately. But that's not how real, lasting success works. La base del éxito es y fábrica sobre el entendimiento, de que de lo que veo la pena tiene un cierto costo. ¿Quieres mejor salud? Hey, un costo. ¿Quieres mejores relations? Hey, un costo. ¿Quieres independencia financiera? Hey, un costo. Why aquí es lo fundamental? No puedes negociar el costo. La única opción que tienes es si estás capacitado pagarlo. Pero esto es fundamental. Una vez que veas esto, una vez que realmente lo entiendes profundamente en tus usos, que el éxito tiene un costo y que estás capacitado pagarlo, algo mágico ocurre. Tus excuses desaparecen, tu retraso es desvanece, tu nivel de compromiso es eleva. ¿Por qué? Porque ahora entiendes las reglas del juego. Entiendes que el éxito no es trait de suerte, en hay de azar, en hay de particularidades. Why hablando de entender cómo ejercer realmente el éxito, déjame compartir contigo algo fabuloso sobre las matemáticas del logro. ¿Sabes qué es fabuloso sobre el éxito? Sigue principios matemáticos tan confiables como la gravedad. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Hoy y mañana será lo mismo. El éxito funciona justamente igual. No es requindido, es matemático. Déjame diferenciar de alguna manera que te sorprenderá. Todos los días, cada día, o día estás acercando hacia el éxito, o día estás alejando de él. No hay paralización en la vida. Incluso la paralización es retroceder porque el tiempo sigue avanzando. Aquí tienes una ecuación simple. Quiero que escribas esto tu vida dentro de 5 años será el conjunto de dos cosas. Los libros que lees y las personas con las que te juntas. Eso es todo. Matemáticas simples. No puedes rodearte de personas malas durante 5 años y esperar vivir una vida positiva. No puedes leer 0 libros y esperar tener mejores resultados. El tiempo, la mercancía más valiosa que tenemos. Todos obtenemos la misma cantidad. 24 horas al día, 168 horas a la semana. La diferencia entre los exitosos y los que no lo son no es el tiempo, es lo que hacen con ese tiempo. Hablo últimamente con un joven que me dijo que no tenía tiempo para leer. Le pregunto, ¿cuánta televisión ves? Me dijo, aproximadamente 3 horas al día. Le dije, ahí tienes tu tiempo para leer. No es trata de tener tiempo, es la matemática de la gestión del tiempo. Aquí tienes algo que te revolverá la cabeza. Los pequeños cambios acumulados con el tiempo crean respuestas masivas. Si mejoras solo un 1% cada día, al final del año serás 37 veces superior, no 365% mejor. Eso es el poder de los índices compuestos complementados en tu desarrollo personal. Déjame dar otro comienzo matemático, el margen de ventaja. Las personas exitosas hacen pequeñas cosas que parecen no hacer diversidad en el momento. Lee Paginas de Union de un libro cada día. Has una llamada telefónica extra. Ahora un poco de efectivo. Has ejercicio durante 30 minutos. Nada dramático. Pero aquí está la magia. Estas pequeñas cosas, agrupadas con el tiempo, crean un éxito masivo. Y hablando del efecto compuesto, Déjame hablar algo profundo sobre los sacrificios. Cada pequeño sacrificio que haces ahorita se acumula en algo más grande mañana. Cuando decides ahorrar $100 en lugar de derrocarlos, no son solo $100, y es $100 más lo que podrían llegar a ser. Cuando decides pasar una hora preparando en lugar de ver televisión, no es solo una hora, y es una hora más todas las oportunidades que ese nuevo entendimiento traerá. Las matemáticas del logro dicen que tu afiliación rara vez supera tu desarrollo personal. Si quieres tener más, tienes que transformarte en más. ¿Quieres ganar $1,000 al mes? Tienes que transformarte en una persona de $1,000 al mes en términos de tus habilidades, tu forma de pensar, tus relaciones, tus hábitos. Lo que realmente es impresión al entender estas matemáticas es que, una vez que lo entiendes, una vez que realmente conoces que el éxito es inimaginable, que sigue principios matemáticos, dejas de esperar y empiezas a saber. Dejas de drear y empiezas a trabajar. Porque ahora entiendes que el éxito no es trade de suerte, es trade de la matemática. Ahora, hablando de transformarte en algo valioso, déjame hablar contigo lo que las personas exitosas sacrifican continuamente para alcanzar sus metas. Lo que es interesante acerca de las personas exitosas es que son capaces de hacer lo que las personas no exitosas no están capaces de hacer. Y no es porque a las personas exitosas les gusta más hacer estas cosas. No es así. Ellos sencillamente entienden que la incomodidad temporal es el costo del confort permanente. Las zonas de confort son lugares atractivos, bonitos, acogedores, predecibles. Pero aquí está el conflicto con las zonas de confort. Ahí no crees nada. Siempre digo, la vida empieza el fin de tu zona de confort. Y las personas exitosas hacen amigos con la incomodidad. Entienden que estar incómodo hoy debe ser imparable mañana. Recuerdo cuando empecé en los negocios. Cada mañana tenía una alternativa. Sí, quedarme en mi cama caliente y cómoda, o levantarme temprano para trabajar en mis metas. Nadie me obligaba a levantarme. Nadie verificaba si iba o no. Pero yo sabía algo que la mayoría de las personas no se daban cuenta. El éxito no se queda en la cama. Sacrifice time, because this is where most people fail. Successful people treat time as the precious commodity it is. While others are watching the end of the TV show, successful people are reading, studying, planning, working. While others complain about Monday morning, successful people have already tackled half their most important tasks. Here's what's fascinating. Most people spend more time planning their vacations than planning their lives. Think about that. They spend hours researching the best hotel deal, but won't dedicate 15 minutes to plan their day. Successful people, they make sacrifices. They don't drift with life's current. They become masters of their time, not victims of it. I remember a friend who wanted a business. He told me, "I'll work on it when I have time." I said, "You'll never have time. You must make time." He didn't like that answer, but 6 months later, he thanked me. He started waking up 2 hours earlier every day. Was it comfortable? Did he enjoy it at first? Absolutely not. But he understood something crucial. You don't find time for important things. You make time. Now here's where it gets truly captivating. Successful people make different choices about how they live their lives. They drive used cars while saving to invest. They live in modest homes while building their businesses. They pack their lunch while others eat out daily. I recall talking to a successful businessman who told me something profound. He said, "For the first 10 years of my business, I lived in a way no one wanted to live. So for the rest of my life, I could live in a way no one else could." Think about that. While others got new cars, he bought used. While others bought designer clothes, he bought books. While others focused on looking successful, He focused on being successful. Short-term pleasures that'll blow your mind. Successful people don't reject pleasures. They simply delay them. They understand the essence of sacrifice. They know that saying no to something good today means saying yes to something greater tomorrow. Let me give you an example. Two young men start their careers. One saves $100 a month and invests it. The other spends that $100 on entertainment. After 30 years, what do you think happened? The first person is financially free, while the other is still trading time for money. Same amount of money, different decisions. What's truly remarkable about these sacrifices is that they're not really sacrifices. They're investments. When you give up TV time to read, you're not sacrificing entertainment. You're investing in your mind. When you wake up early to work on your business, you're not forfeiting sleep. You're investing in your future. When you live below your means, you're not sacrificing your lifestyle. You're investing in your freedom. And successful people understand something else about sacrifice. It's not about sacrificing everything. It's about sacrificing something good for something better. It's trading what you want now for what you dream of most. Most people want success, but don't want to change. They want different results without doing different things. But successful people understand you can't harvest different crops from the same seed. If you want different results, you must plant different seeds. Speaking of changing how we think about success, let me share something fascinating about the mindset shift that makes all these sacrifices not just possible, but necessary. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful? It's not talent, not luck, not even education. It's mindset. And the greatest mindset shift you can make is moving from being a consumer to becoming a producer. Most people spend their lives consuming food, entertainment, information, products. But successful people, they wake up every morning asking, what can I produce today? What value can I contribute? I remember speaking with a young man who lamented his job, his boss, his salary. I asked him a simple question: what have you produced today that someone would pay you for? He stared blankly. You see, he was stuck in the consumer mindset. He was thinking about what he could get rather than what he could give. Here's something powerful about excuses. We all have them. The successful and unsuccessful both have problems. Both face challenges. Both deal with setbacks. The difference: successful people use their energy to find solutions, while unsuccessful people use their energy to find excuses. You can have your excuses or you can have your success, but you can't have both. They don't live in the same house. Every time you make an excuse, you vote for mediocrity. Every time you take responsibility, you vote for excellence. And here's where it gets truly compelling. Personal responsibility. This is the ultimate shift. This is where everything changes. When you take 100% responsibility for everything in your life, your results, your relationships, your bank account, your health, something extraordinary happens. You move from being a victim to being a victor. I often tell people, don't blame the economy. Don't blame the government. Don't blame your parents. Don't blame your education. Why? Because when you blame, you surrender your power. And if you surrender your power, you surrender your ability to change your life. This is what personal responsibility looks like. If you don't like something in your life, you change it. If you can't change it, you change your attitude toward it. But you never, ever blame. Blame is the favorite game of consumers. Producers are too busy creating solutions to play the blame game. Something amazing about this mindset transformation: it changes how you see everything. Problems become opportunities. Obstacles become stepping stones. Setbacks become preparation for comebacks. Why? Because producers don't see barriers. They see possibilities. I spoke with a successful entrepreneur who told me something profound. She said, the day I stopped saying I can't because, and started saying, how can I, was the day my life changed. It's not about not having problems. It's about having a different response to those problems. This mindset shift is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you see things that were always there but hidden in the shadows. You see opportunities where others see problems. You see potential where others see obstacles. You see responsibility where others see blame. And once you make this shift, once you move from consumer to producer, from excuse maker to problem solver, from blamer to responsibility taker, something profound happens. Success becomes inevitable. Not easy, but inevitable. Speaking of inevitability, how do you build a foundation for success that makes failure nearly impossible? What fascinates me about building a house is that they spend more time on the foundation than anything else. Most people never see it, but without it, everything else collapses. Success works exactly the same way. It's all about the foundation, the daily disciplines. Because here's where your foundation begins. Your life isn't shaped by the big decisions you make occasionally. Your life is shaped by the small decisions you make every single day. Every day. What time do you wake up? What do you read? What do you eat? Who do you talk to? These seemingly small decisions are like laying bricks. One brick might not seem like much, but if you stack them day after day, suddenly you've built a wall. Stack them long enough, and you've built a cathedral. I recall talking to a successful writer who told me something profound. He said, "I'm not a great writer. I'm a great rewriter. And I write every day." You see, he understood something most people miss. Success isn't about magnitude. It's about consistency. It's not what you do occasionally. It's what you do daily. What counts is consistent action. This is where most people fail. They start strong, full of energy, but then life happens. They skip one day, then two, then a week, and suddenly they're back where they started. But successful people understand that consistency always beats intensity. This is what consistent action looks like. Reading 10 pages of a good book every day.